Hello, World Wide Web. Hello, YouTube fans. Hello, nurse. This is Locke back at you with part 2 of my commentary on the Clark County Democratic Caucus. And these next, part 2 and part 3, has to do with my critique of the leaders of the Nevada Democratic Caucus and the things that they did um, that I just don't think was the best service of our people, and the excuses that they give that I'm sorry I have to call BS. Now, in my last in part 1, I was talking about what I felt went right, and when I left off, I was talking about how well the delegates had carried out their functions, how well the alternates had carried out their functions, and indeed how well the guests of both delegates and alternates had carried out their functions. My applause to you guys. You guys did a great job. As a fellow delegate, I could not be more proud of your action and your behaviors. But our leaders once again show exactly how much they are lacking when it comes to the word leadership, and how much they are lacking when it comes to the word responsibility and accountability. These words are words that just went whoosh right by them in the dictionary. They have no idea about what these words mean or why they are an important part of the American vernacular. You put on a great show. But what you did in the days up to that show, I don't know what you were doing. I really don't know what you were doing. You want to use your little rain shed excuse that, well, we weren't expecting that many people. We couldn't expect that many people. Okay. Well, then, let's go back to first grade when we heard of a thing called math, and it's called doing the math. Now, that excuse worked very well for our first major Democratic caucus. That's right. Because how were we to know that so many people were actually going to participate in that caucus, even though we've had 8 years of the worst, most god-awful human being to tread this planet, leading our country down a never-ending sucking hole of defeat and despair? How could we expect that this many people would want to show up and actually want to participate in this election, so to make sure that we get it right this time? Okay, it's our first big caucus in Nevada. I can understand that, and I made a video about that caucus and my feelings towards that. So yes, I can see that you would be overwhelmed. You were only expecting about 50,000 people at the most. Senator Reid warned you there'd be 100,000 people, so you should have been expecting that at the most. But you were expecting 50,000. You say you were expecting 50,000 people, and you got 120,000 people. So yes, were you overwhelmed? You were definitely overwhelmed. Should you have learned from that? Should you have shown that you learned from that? Should you have shown some type of foreplanning that you had learned from that? It didn't seem to me like you got it. It didn't seem like you got it. It seemed to me like a bunch of you said, you know what? This is going to be a wonderful money-making experience and a wonderful money-making opportunity for the Democratic Party. But in regards to making sure that Hillary Clinton is represented, or Barack Obama is represented as the candidates are being served, because that is the major function. You didn't get it. You didn't get it. You got it as a very good money-making opportunity. Okay? Because listen to this, my fellow Americans, and this is what really gets me. This is one of the things that gets me, which is why I'm going to have to go into part 2. Part 3 rather. This is what really gets me is I get a thing in the mail, and I'll show that on part 3, that's going to ask for the $50 donation. And I'm going to get into the $50 donation, but right now what I'm talking about is how you actually affected this. You had more than 30 days to get this. You had announced the date. You still didn't tell us where it was going to be at or where it was going to be held at. Okay? Now, if you think that we as delegates are just stupid, Our constituents asked us to be delegates for them because we must have had something going for us, okay? We must have at least spoke eloquently, or we must have at least looked intelligent. I saw all of my delegates there, every one of my fellow delegates there. None of them looked stupid, none of them looked like an idiot to me. All of them looked very smart and very educated, okay? Now, if you're going to expect us to believe that you as the leader, as the chairperson of the Nevada Democratic Party, was not able to get that ballroom donated to you, that you were not able to get Bally's Hotel and Casino to donate those rooms to you, simply based on the fact that you are going to be generating thousands of people coming through their casino, showing off their casino to thousands of people of which if only a fraction of those people drop a quarter, a dollar, $10 into their machines, that they are not making a great big profit. If you're going to expect me to think that you had to pay for that, then believe me, I'm going to tell you that if you did pay a dime for it, you do not need to be leader of the National Democratic Party. You don't need to be leader of the Nevada Democratic Party, rather, because I'm not that stupid, okay? Now, so I'm going to go on the fact that, number one, you got the ballroom donated to the Democratic Party, both these huge ballrooms dedicated to the Democratic Party, because not only would they be able to make the money off of the gaming side, but they're also going to be able to sell us sandwiches and drinks for highly inflated prices. I bought a bottle of grapefruit juice, this big of a bottle of grapefruit juice. I had to pay $4.50 for this size of a bottle of grapefruit juice. Insane. Okay? Now, you also put out an email blast asking for volunteers. So, now not only do you have the place provided free, but you also have the help provided for free. And then you're going to send out a postcard to all the delegates requesting $50 from them. This has to be the best scam ever perpetrated in American history. Okay? To offset the cost of this. Okay, what cost? Printing? Okay? If you weren't able to get the printers to donate a good deal of this also, they don't know what's going on here. We're the Democratic Party. How more American can you get? Okay? I had to stand on the line for more than an hour. Even though the line moved quickly, it was just the size of the line, which is not your fault. But I have to stand on the line before now, and before I can even register my precinct, you're going to put your hand out and say, oh, we want $50. That's not right. After I registered my precinct, the first point of business was to register my precinct, to register what my constituents had sent me there to do, not to get your $50. Tacky. Very, very tacky. So, we're going to go on with this for part 3, and about how I feel that you totally failed us by not even getting the job done. Lock out.